Hello everybody and welcome to the video. Now this video is going to be a little different than what I normally do. I normally plan my videos out, do a whole script and whatnot, but I'm going to be completely honest. This one I am kind of winging. I've not had the best of weeks. Physically I've not been very well, and mentally I've just been, it's not been good at all. So I didn't plan to do this video at all. I just decided to do it to cheer me up a little bit. So yeah, today we're going to be ranking the top 15 most rated roller coasters here in the UK. So how I selected the top 15 rated roller coasters here in the UK is I went across multiple sources, multiple websites before making this video, and I picked out the ones that came up the most in the top 10 lists. So that's how I got the top 15. If your favourite roller coaster isn't on here, then I am sorry. But if it isn't on this list, then I don't know, maybe your favourite roller coaster isn't that good. But yeah, let's get straight on into it and let's rank these rides. So we're here on Tiermaker, and this is a website, if you've not used it before, it's a website where you can rank literally anything from cheese to animals to cars to whatever. And of course we're going to be ranking roller coasters, the top 15 rated here in the UK, to be specific. So we've got 5 categories ranging from awesome to nope. I should have done this the other way around because the green one's nope, but awesome is in red, but the green should be awesome. You know what I mean? I have saved this, so if you want to go rank these rides yourself, then you can do. Just head on over to Tiermaker. I'll leave a link down in the description below as well. And share your list with me on social media. I'd love to see how you rank these rides as well. But yeah, let's get straight on into it, and let's start off with Galactica at Alton Towers, formerly known as Air. It's coming on. How many years has it been open now? I just had a quick look and it opened in 2002. So yeah, it celebrated its 20th anniversary last year. I didn't actually realise it was that old. I feel like Galactica is a bit underrated. I mean, it gets a lot of hate and I don't think it's that bad at all. I've never had a bad ride on it. It's pretty smooth. It's one of the smoothest rides at Alton Towers, let's face it. So I don't understand why it gets the hate that it does. So it's a great ride in my opinion. I'm not going to say it's awesome. I mean, that's going a bit too far there. There are better ones out there that I have been on. It's doing good and okay. Should we go? We're going to go with okay. We're going to go with okay. It's a good ride, but it's definitely not the best in the park. Definitely not one of the best in the UK in my opinion. But you know, it's good. It's not bad at all. Okay, next up we have Wicker Man, and this is personally maybe my favourite ride at Alton Towers. One of my favourite rides here in the UK. Always have a fun ride on Wicker Man. It doesn't go extremely fast. I don't know the exact speed off the top of my head. It's 40 something miles. I'm going with 43 miles per hour. I'm probably wrong. It might not be that fast and it might not even look that fast, but when you're on it, it does feel a lot more intense. So yeah, that's why it's going in awesome. I also love how you go through the Wicker Man and or the flame effects when they're actually working anyway. I love the pre-show as well. That's really cool, a really good addition. So yeah, it's the whole experience of the Wicker Man that I love. So yeah, that's why it's going in awesome. Okay, sticking with Alton Towers, we have probably the best ride at Alton Towers, and that is the Smiler. Now I'm putting the Smiler in awesome because my opinion on this ride has changed throughout the years. Recently it's been getting a lot of hate. A lot of people have been saying it's very rough. People have referred to it as a shopping trolley, and I do see where you're coming from. When I have been on it recently, you know, it has been rough. But having said that, it's still a very fun ride. There's no other roller coaster in the UK that is anywhere near what the Smiler is. I mean, you have rides with a lot of inversions, like you have Colossus, you have at Fort Park, and you have Sick at Flamingo Land. But the Smiler, it just hits. Bear in mind, I haven't actually been on Sick yet, so I can't really say this. But there's nothing like it. Just while we're on that, Sick of Flamingo Land and Mandrill Mayhem at Chessington Water Adventures, they're not on this list because I haven't actually been on those rides. So yeah, it would be wrong of me to include them on this list because I can't judge. But having said that, I will be at Chessington Water Adventures later this month, so you know, I'll be able to give you my thoughts on it then. But back onto the Smiler. Honestly, it is a fantastic ride. It may be a little rough nowadays, but it is still fantastic. I mean, you spend more of your time upside down than you do upright, and that is just fantastic. You get some great airtime on there as well. Obviously not a lot, but you get a few pops of it every now and again. So yeah, it is a great ride, and I'm putting in awesome. Originally, it would have gone in good, But the more I go on it, the more I think this is such a unique coaster for us here in the UK. It's a world record breaker. It's got 14 inversions, so people literally travel from other countries just to experience this roller coaster, and that's what makes it so special. And talking of inversions, next up we've got Colossus at Thorpe Park, and this one's actually going to go in good. Now I've got to say, I've not been on Colossus in quite a while now, so I'm not sure how it is running currently. But when I have been on it, it's always been a fantastic ride. I love the end part of the ride, with all those inversions. It's a really good coaster, and it's quite old now as well, and it's still hanging in there. So yeah, fantastic ride, so that's why it's going in good. Okay, so this next one might be the most underrated roller coaster on this whole list. Honestly, this roller coaster doesn't get the love it deserves, and that is Dragon's Fury. And I'm going to put it in awesome. You may be thinking, why have I put this child's roller coaster next to the Smiler and the Wicker Man? And that's because I find this roller coaster really intense when I've been on it. I'll always remember the first time I went to Chessington World of Adventures. The park was completely empty. We went on a weekday, and there was barely anyone in the park. So we went on to Dragon's Fury, and they kept sending us round. And on the third time we went around, we were like, they asked us if we wanted to go again. And even though I really wanted to go again, my body was just like, no, call it quits there, because I thought I was going to literally throw up, because that thing spins so much. It is so good. I really, really do enjoy Dragon's Fury, and that's why it's going in awesome. And I'm just going to put it out there, it is miles better than Spinball Whizzer at Alton Towers. I mean, Spinball Whizzer isn't even on this list, so that explains it all. Next up, we have Icon at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. I'm going to have to do it again. It's going in awesome. This is probably my favourite roller coaster in the UK. It is such a great ride. You get so much airtime on there. There's not really another coaster in the UK that's kind of like Icon. I mean, there's other rides in the world that are like Icon, of course, and are probably better than Icon as well. But here in the UK, there's not really another coaster that really compares to it. It's such a great ride, and my favourite thing about roller coasters, what makes a really good roller coaster for me, is airtime. So that's why Icon is so good, and that's why it's going in awesome. And if this was like in a tier system of like 1 to 15, then it would be at number 1. I think I've made a video before where I ranked my top 10 roller coasters here in the UK, and if I find out, I'll leave a link down in the description below. But yeah, if I remember, Icon is at the top because of all these reasons. So next up we have Millennium at Fantasy Island. Now this is a really good roller coaster. All these roller coasters are good. That's why we're in the top 15. So I don't know why I keep saying they're all good, because you already know that. But Millennium is another one of those that is very underrated. So I'm actually going to put it in. Oh, we're gonna. In fact, I don't think there's any. Like looking at them, I don't think there's any that belong in Not Great and Nope. So, yeah. So Millennium, it is one of the most underrated roller coasters in the UK. Just like with Dragon's Fury, not as good as Dragon's Fury, I don't think. And also maybe not as good as Colossus, but I'm going to put it in okay. It is probably one of the most smoothest roller coasters that I've been on here in the UK. And if you've been on it as well, then I'm sure you'll agree with that, along with the Swarm. But we'll move on to that one later. But yeah, just for me, it belongs in okay. It doesn't like stand out as the best roller coaster in the UK by far, but it is very smooth. It's a very enjoyable ride experience, so that's why it's going in okay. Oh, here we go. We've got Nemesis at Alton Towers. Of course, you already know it's not operating. In fact, most of it's not even there at the moment, as it's getting the retrack, and which is looking fantastic, might I just add. There's been a lot of work going on at Nemesis over the past few weeks. I'm very excited for it to reopen next year, especially with all the marketing that's been going on. Before it closed, it was one of my favourite rides at Alton Towers, so that is what I'm going to be judging off here. The previous one, not the new one, because obviously I've not been on the new one yet. So we're going to be, it's between awesome and good. It's between awesome and good. I've got a lot in awesome at the moment, but it's Nemesis. Screw it. It's going in awesome. It's just such an intense ride, and it's almost 30 years old. I mean, I know it's getting its retrack, so it kind of resets, well, I guess. But, you know, it's been going 30 years, and even towards the end of the old track's life, it was still running fine to me. I mean, I feel like it didn't need the retrack all that much. I am glad it is getting one, because it's going to make it even better. But I don't think it desperately needed one. It wasn't super rough in my opinion. It was very intense. But yeah, so I'm putting it in awesome because that's where it belongs. So next up we have the Odyssey at Fantasy Islands. Now I know I said that none of these really belong in not great and nope, but I'm going to put this one in not great. It's okay. Well, if it was okay, it'd go in okay. I'm going to say it's not great. Now, the reason I put it in not great is because I do find this coaster just a little bit too rough for my liking. I mean, you usually get that with these SLC roller coasters, but it's just not for me, really. So it's very intense, but it's a bit too rough for me. And honestly, it gives me a little bit of a headache, and that's why I want to go on a roller coaster that I can go on again and again. And I could never do that with the Odyssey because I just have a headache. I mean, the Smiler, I could go on that multiple times and still not get a headache. But with the Odyssey, it's just a bit too much. It's quite sad because the Odyssey is the most expensive roller coaster that's been built here in the UK currently. So it's a little bit sad because it could be better. So next up we have Stealth at Thorpe Park, and I'm going to pop this one into good because I think it's a great ride. It's really enjoyable. I mean, the speed of it is fantastic. I believe it's the fastest roller coaster here in the UK. The height of it as well is phenomenal. Is it the tallest roller coaster currently? No, the big one is the current tallest one. But this is the second tallest roller coaster in the UK. So yeah, it's fantastic in terms of speed, height. But the coaster, it doesn't last long at all, obviously. I mean, you just shoot off, you go up, you come back down, and that's it. So yeah, that's why I'm putting in good and not awesome. I mean, if there was more to it, it would definitely belong in awesome. But because of the ride time, that's why it's going in good. But having said that, still a fantastic coaster, and I love going on it when I go to Thorpe Park. So next up we have Saw the Ride, and that one's going to go into the OK section. Now, Saw is my favourite horror film franchise of all time. I absolutely love Saw. So when I went to Thorpe Park, I was super excited about going on Saw the Ride, and the theming is done. It's fantastic. Like, it's done really, really well. The whole queue itself is just fantastic. It's just themed really well. The coaster itself is also really good. I mean, I love that vertical lift hill and that more than vertical drop. But the main issue is the actual ride experience after that, because it is very rough. It's not the most enjoyable ride experience, and it's one of those when I come off it, it does give me a bit of a headache because of how rough it was, and that's not what I want from a coaster. As I said earlier, I want to go on a coaster that I can go on again and again, and Saw the Ride is another one of those which I can't do that with. So yeah, that's why it's going in the OK section, but overall it's not too bad because the theming is great, and just, you know, the story behind the ride's great as well. So yeah, that's why it's going in OK. Oh, okay, so I know I said that I'm not going to be putting any roller coasters into the nope section, but I completely forgot that the big one's on here, and that one is definitely going in nope. I do not like this ride. It's not even the height that bothers me. It's nothing to do with that. It's just the whole ride experience and the fact that you've got a lap bar that just doesn't feel too safe, in all honesty. I know it will be, but just to me, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't make me feel safe. And the whole ride is really rickety, a bit rough, and no, just not a fan. I'd probably say it's my least favourite roller coaster here in the UK. Maybe my least favourite roller coaster in the world. Just, I'm not a fan of the big one, and I know some people love it. Some people have this as their number one, and you're crazy. But you know, I respect your opinions, but you're crazy. So now we're going to be moving on to the opposite side of the rough scale, and we've got the Swarm, and this one is going in awesome. I've got a lot in awesome, I know, but you know, it's good. It is an awesome roller coaster. It's the only winged coaster, but it's not anymore because we've got Mandrill Mayhem over at Chessington World of Adventures. But before Mandrill Mayhem was open, it was the only winged coaster here in the UK, and it's one of the smooth, if not the smoothest roller coaster here in the UK as well. I love that first drop, how it inverts in on itself. The inversions are super smooth. You've got all those near miss elements like the billboard that you go through. The whole area in general is just themed super well. The queue line's really cool. You've got an amazing soundtrack. Just everything about it. It's in my top 3 here in the UK for sure. Just a fantastic ride experience. I love the Swarm. So yeah, that's why it's going in awesome. On to the final 2 now. Have I put Millennium in twice? I've put in Millennium twice, haven't I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm missing one, and I don't know which one it is. Which one am I missing? I mean, I could just pick any roller coaster, couldn't I? You wouldn't know. It's probably a big one I've forgotten as well, and you'll all comment after saying, "Why did you miss out this ride?" And I'll be like, "That was the one." Oh, I don't know. So Millennium's going in okay twice because I messed up. So this is actually the top 14 rated roller coasters here in the UK. Yeah, so Oblivion, the final one. We've got Oblivion, and this one is going to go into the good section. It's going in good for pretty much the same reasons as Stealth. I mean, it's one of the fastest roller coasters here in the UK. Definitely not as tall as Stealth, but it's still pretty high. And of course, you drop through the floor into the black hole. But just the length of the ride, you'll all agree that it's not a very long ride at all. It lasts seconds, so if you're queuing for ages, and then when you finally get on the ride, you're only on there, you spend more of the time on the brake run. So yeah, that's why it's going in good. But the force of that drop is incredible. One of the best first drops here in the with Oblivion, it's the only drop, but that drop is super forceful, so that's why it's going in a good section. But yeah, it would be nice to have more after that first drop, just like some of the other coasters that I've been on out there like it, just such as Secret, Busch Gardens in Tampa. That one's one of my favourite coasters in the world, so yeah, that's why it's going in a good section, because it would be nice to have more to it. But having said that, it was one of the first of its, it was the first of its kind, so yeah, that's why it's going in the good section. So there we have it. That is my ranking list of the top 14 roller coasters that are rated online. There's obviously more roller coasters here in the UK. Your favourite might not be on here, and if it isn't on here, then I'm very sorry. But yeah, leave your favourite roller coaster down in the comments below, and I'll let you know my thoughts on it. Because yeah, there's plenty of amazing roller coasters here in the UK. But yeah, apparently they're the best. I also need to add that there are some roller coasters on here that were really highly rated, but I've not been on before, so I can't comment on it because that would just be wrong. So yeah, there we have it. That is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, then please hit that like button to let me know. And if you are new around here, then be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you don't miss a single thing, because we make plenty of adventure, theme park and adventure videos here, which you don't want to miss. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.